So let me do that. Great. And we're going to look at a relatively simple topic, you might think, of counting your tricks. And especially in a no-trump contract, when you become declarer, it's always good to go through a two-step procedure of counting your top tricks and then looking at opportunities for more by establishing suits or finessing or forcing out high cards or leading towards your honors. And I really recommend that no matter how experienced you are, you always start off with that two-step process. So let's start off looking at a few examples of this. Here you open one no trump. We're playing a weak no trump here, 12 to 14 points. Your partner bids 2 clubs Damon. You show your 4-card major, and they bid 3 no trump. And the opponents lead the 2 of clubs on this hand. And we can see that we are in a bit of bother in clubs because we don't have any club stoppers. But before we go on, I'd like you to count your top tricks. So these are the tricks you should be able to make, or you hope you'd be able to make, without losing the lead. So have a look at this hand, count your top tricks, and in a moment, here's a poll coming, and the question is, how many top tricks do you have? Okay, let's have a look at the answers. And nearly everyone has gone for 10. One person went for 6. And you do indeed have 10 top tricks here. You have 4 spades, 1 heart, and 5 diamonds. So you could potentially make 10 tricks. This is a bit of a slightly tricky question, of course, because the opponents have led a club, which means we don't necessarily get a chance to take those tricks. In fact, the opponents are going to run clubs and may even be able to defeat us if they could take enough clubs. But nonetheless, as they play the clubs, you're going to have to discard. And as you discard, you just need to keep in mind your best source of tricks, which are the 4 spades, 5 diamonds, and 1 heart, if you can make all those. So as they play their clubs, they take the queen, play another club, they play a 3rd round. As they continue to play clubs, the suit we're going to discard from the north hand is the hearts. Okay, we've got enough for our contract, and we don't need to keep those hearts. If they play another club, again, we're going to discard another heart. And we're slightly fortunate here that their clubs have now run out, so they will now shift to another suit. And of course, if they play a heart, we're not going to risk any finesse here. We've got 9 top tricks remaining. So we'll just take the ace. Now we need to just be a little bit careful to play the suits so as to unblock, so we don't get stuck in the wrong hand. And the key is sort of looking for things like that king jack of spades, which is a blockage there. So we're going to play that suit first, the king and the jack. It's not necessary to overtake here because we can get back in diamonds. So now let's play a diamond back to the ace and king. And then before we play the last 2 diamonds, we're going to play, of course, the last 2 spades. And that way we'll make our 9 tricks on this hand. We couldn't have done any better because the opponents led clubs to start with, but we made 9 tricks there. When this hand was played, only about half the people made 9 tricks on this hand, and quite a few people went down. I suspect they hung on to those hearts or tried a heart finesse. And once you've realized that you have 10 top tricks, you should realize there's no need for any finesses in hearts, and throw away your hearts and keep your diamonds and your spades. Do interrupt me if you have any questions on that. This is another hand that was played recently, and you open one no trump on this hand, 12 to 14, and your partner takes you to 6 no trump. So once you've recovered from that shock, the opponents lead the Jack of spades. And again, on this hand, I would like you to count your top tricks. So between you and dummy, count how many tricks you have that you can take right off the top without losing the lead. Take a minute, and in a moment, I'll launch a second poll. And the question is, how many top tricks do you have here? And most of you have gone for 13, but there are other votes for 12, 11, or 10. So let's switch back and let's just go through it. So in spades, I'm going to count 1 trick for the ace. In hearts, I've got 2 tricks for the ace and king. Diamonds, I'm going to count 4 tricks there. Again, I have to be slightly careful to unblock to take those 4 tricks. And what about clubs? Well, I've got 6 clubs in dummy, 2 in my hand. I've got 8, and I actually have the top 5 clubs. So no matter how the missing clubs divide, even if they're 5-0, I can make all the club tricks. I've got the ace, king, queen, jack, 10. So what I've got here is 6 clubs, 4 diamonds, 2 hearts, and a spade. So those of you who counted 13 are absolutely right. Those of you who gave an answer other than 13, perhaps you can tell me why you think that was, if you'd like to unmute and speak up now. But I hope you are persuaded that you do indeed have 13 top tricks. When this hand was played, not everyone got to a slam, and a lot of people did not make 13 tricks. They may have tried the spade finesse or something. But once you've counted your top tricks as 13, I hope you can see there's absolutely no need to risk.
So, Tony, can I just ask, would you go to 6 no trump there, or because you might, the opponents might have an ace and a king, and then you're going to go down?
How many points does North have there? It's 10, 21 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your partner's got to have at least 12, so you should have 33. Now, yes, occasionally you may find you've got 33 points and discover the opponents can take an ace and a king. But most of the time, 33 points is a good is a good target to have in your hand to go to a bit of small slam. Also, this hand has a good source of tricks in clubs. You've got a good club suit. So, even if you were sort of looking at the North hand and thinking, well, I'm not sure, suppose they've got the ace of diamonds and the king of clubs, they could, or another king, say king of spades, they could make another trick there. And occasionally with 33 points, you won't have enough, but it's a good rule of thumb that most of the time with something close to 33 points, you should be in a small slam. And that's definitely the case here, because as you can see, you can make 13 tricks. So I will take this one with the ace, and then I'm going to cash my other tricks. You might start off with the 2 diamond tricks, the king and the jack, so that you can unblock the suit. Then I'm going to play the clubs in such a way that I'm sure to make 5 tricks there, maybe taking the king, maybe taking the 10, and the clubs all divide fairly evenly, so all the clubs are now good. I've kept the heart suit unplayed yet, because that's the suit I can use as entries for both hands. But now it's all easy. I just take my 2 diamonds, my 2 hearts, and claim the rest of the club tricks. Okay, so again, when this hand was played, not everyone made 13 tricks, not everyone bid the slam, but once you count your top tricks, you should see that there are 13 definite tricks. And unless you slip up, by trying the spade finesse, for example, or if you block the diamond or the club suit, you should easily make 13 tricks. Anyone have any comments, especially those people who thought you didn't have 13 tricks? Okay, let's try another one. And yes, let's look at this one here, where again you open one no trump. Even though you've got a 5-card minor suit, you should definitely, it qualifies for a 1 no trump opening bid. And your partner takes you to 3 no trump, and the opponent's lead a spade. And again, in no trump, we're going to start off by counting our top tricks. Now, I will tell you that in the spade suit, we started off with 1 top trick, but because the opponents have led a spade, we actually have 2 top tricks. Because whatever happens on this card, if whether East plays a king or not, we'll definitely make 2 spades now. So that lead has given us 2 spade tricks. I'd like you to count up your remaining top tricks, and the next poll question is going to have 2 parts to it. How many top tricks do you now have, including the 2 spade tricks I've said you can count? And after you win this spade, where are you going to try to establish more tricks? Is it going to be in diamonds, or is it going to be in clubs? So 2 parts to the next poll. How many top tricks do you now have? And after winning this first trick, are you going to try to establish tricks in clubs or in diamonds? Okay, let's have a look at the results, which are very interesting for me. And nearly everyone has correctly said that you have 6 top tricks. One person said 5. And then in terms of which suit you're going to go after to establish the extra tricks you need, most of you had said clubs and 27% said diamonds. So let's switch back and see what we think. So yes, most of you are right about the top tricks. You have 2 spades, 1 heart, 1 diamond, and 2 clubs. You have 6 top tricks. So to make your contract, you need to find at least 3 more. Now, the club suit is a good suit. The problem with it is that if we lose a trick to the queen of clubs, if, for example, we try to play clubs early on, then we will only make 2 extra tricks. We have 2 top tricks in clubs, and we have a chance to establish 2 or 3 more tricks. But 2 is not enough. Whereas in diamonds, even though the suit is a little bit weaker, we only counted 1 top trick. So if we try the diamond finesse, even if it fails, we have established 3 more diamond tricks. So most of you, I'm afraid, on this one gave the wrong answer. The correct answer is to go after the diamonds and not the clubs. So what we're going to do is win this first trick, and we're going to try the diamond finesse. So let's bring up the 4 hands and let's just see what's going on. You can see the diamond finesse is not going to succeed, and the club finesse is not going to succeed. Both finesses fail. But nonetheless, if I lead the so I'm going to plan to lead from dummy. So I'm going to get to dummy with the ace of clubs. I'm not trying a finesse at this point. I'm just getting to dummy so I can lead a diamond. And the finesse loses here, but West plays another spade, which knocks out my last stopper. However, now the contract is secure because all my diamonds are good. And I can now just cash my diamonds. Cash the last diamond, and that's 7 tricks now. And now I'm going to play a club, and I hope you can see that if I click here on the GIB button, that if I don't take this ace here, if I try to finesse now, they would get in and they'd be able to switch back to spades and defeat me. So as someone said recently, I'm going to run for the hills now, take the ace of clubs, take the ace of hearts, and that's my 9 tricks. After that, when I play a club, they'll get in and they can cash a heart and a spade to hold me to 9 tricks. So this one was a tricky one because the clubs looks awfully strong here, but if you try the club finesse and it loses, they will knock out your last spade stopper, and now you won't be able to make 9 tricks without going after diamonds, which again will lose on this layout, and the opponents will be able to defeat you. So those of you, the majority of you who decided to go for clubs here, do have a look at this one and see if you can persuade yourself that that is in fact a mistake.
Tony, it's Barbara. I'm sorry, I can't see why you can't go for the clubs, because once you've knocked out the queen, you've got 4 clubs there.
Let's try it, shall we?
Thank you.
Let's try. I'm going to switch the play to finessing. I'm going to try finessing, which loses here. They're now going to knock out the ace of spades. Okay. And now I don't have enough clubs to make the contract. So if I try to cash my clubs now, I can do that. I suppose it's got a heart. I can take my club. Let's see. Another club is trick 6. Just being careful what to play here. Okay, that I don't know if it matters. Okay, so now all the clubs have gone, and I've only made 6 tricks. I've now got 2 top tricks left, the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds. So if I now try the diamond finesse, it loses, and the opponents will cash their spades now. Okay.
Thank you.
So do have a look at that. If you're obviously, most of you didn't give the right answer, and the hand is a little bit tricky because it's deliberately makes it, it's very easy to look at the club suit and think that, oh, the club suit is the stronger suit because you're only missing the queen, but it will only provide 2 extra tricks if the finesse fails, whereas diamonds will provide 3 extra tricks even if the diamond finesse fails. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This was another one that was played a while ago. And let's suppose you open this one 1 heart and your partner jumps to 3 hearts. I've got the final poll of the afternoon, which is what are you going to bid? So here comes the last poll. And the question is, what do you think South should rebid here? Okay, let's have a look at the results. And most people have gone for 4 no trump here, with other votes for 4 hearts, or 3 people voted for 6 hearts. And those of you, one person voted for something else. You can unmute yourself and tell me what that is if you wish. But my vote here goes for 6 hearts. 4 no trump would uncover the ace of clubs if your partner has it. But you don't really care whether your partner has the ace of clubs or not, because you're voiding that suit. In fact, your partner had points in suits like spades and diamonds rather than in clubs. So I think 4 no trump is a pointless bid because of your void. And I think you should, your partner is showing a hand worth something like 10 to 12 points. Or if you're using the losing trick count, it's something like an 8 loser hand. 2 hearts would be a 9 loser hand. So 3 hearts is probably an 8 loser hand. You've got very few losers in your hand. You've got 1, 2, 3 actually, 3 losers. So if you use the losing trick count, that will say that you have 11 losers, and it would actually encourage you to bid to the 7 level. Well, I don't think I'm going to do that, but I think I'll just bid 6 hearts on this hand. 4 no trump is not much use, and 4 hearts is just very weak. I mean, you're much too strong, I think, for 4 hearts, so you're wimping out there. So yes, I think you should bid 6 hearts on this hand. And once again, not everyone bid 6 hearts when this hand was played, and the opponents lead the queen of clubs, and down comes your partner's hand, and they're a little light in terms of points. They've only got 8 points, but they do have a singleton. And if you count their losers, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losers. So they do indeed have the 8 losers you were expecting them to have. And we've got to make a plan here and work out our best option here. So you can look at your losers here. And if you find that challenging, you might also want to consider your winners here, how many top tricks you can make here. So let's do that on this hand. And I can see I've got 1 top trick in spades. I've got 6 top tricks in hearts. I've got 1 trick in diamonds, and I've got the ace and king of clubs, which will provide 2 discards. So that comes to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tricks. So I have 10 top tricks here, and I have a chance to make more. And the 2 possibilities to make more tricks are either to try the spade finesse or to ruff the diamonds in dummy. And I think ruffing diamonds in dummy is going to be a much better bet. In fact, there's a prospect of ruffing all the diamonds in dummy, 3 diamonds, and making a total of 13 tricks. So that, I think, is the best option here, to aim to ruff 3 times in dummy. So when they play a club, if I win the first trick with the king, I've got a choice of what to discard here. And what you should be planning to discard on the ace and king of clubs are your 2 spades. So rather than risk any finesse, discard a spade. Now, I'm going to try to ruff 3 times in dummy. So although I've got 10 trump, I don't want to draw 2 rounds of trumps, because then I will only be able to discard twice, to ruff twice. So I'm going to leave diamonds for now, leave trump for now, and turn to diamonds, and I'm going to play another diamond, which I'm going to ruff. And this is a good moment again to think about what you're going to ruff with. Remember, I said I want to ruff 3 times in dummy, so I'm going to plan to ruff with the jack, 10, and the 5. Okay, the jack and 10 are high, cannot be over-ruffed, but I'm going to risk the first ruff with a low trump. And if that succeeds, I'm in now good shape. I now want to get back to my hand in order to ruff twice more. And I can do that by drawing a round of trump. Okay, everyone follows. So there's just 1 missing trump out now, but I'm going to play another diamond and ruff that high. I now want to get back to my hand to ruff that last diamond. I can do that with the ace of spades, ruff that last diamond, and now I just want to get back to my hand to draw the last trump. I can really only get there by playing the ace of clubs and then playing another spade. And remember, I said there's only 1 high trump, there's only 1 trump out. So I can afford to ruff this one high. So I can afford to ruff with the queen. It doesn't get, they follow suit anyway. And now I just draw that last trump and claim the rest. So this was a hand about thinking about what to discard on the ace king of clubs. And however you do it, either counting your winners or counting your losers, I hope you can see that by ruffing 3 diamonds in dummy on this hand, you can make all the tricks. If you make the mistake of discarding a diamond on the diamonds on the ace and king of clubs, you will end up with some possible spade losers there. Any questions on that?